Okay.
You can start reading.
Yeah. Why learn Tattvabodha? Self-knowledge and its benefits.
1 second. I think we all will read one paragraph each. I mean, two paragraphs each. We all will read. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You can start.
Okay. Tattvabodha is an introductory. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not able to read well because I'm
Okay.
connected on the mobile phone. So
One.
if anybody can help me on this now, I'll go and log into my desktop. So somebody else can start, then
Okay.
I can join it.
Next person can start then. I think
Yeah.
next person is
Yeah. Now it is okay. Now it is clear. Oh,
clear. Okay.
okay.
You can read.
It was very tiny. The letters were
Yeah.
very tiny.
Yeah. Enlarge.
Yeah. Okay. Now I can read.
Okay.
Tattvabodha is an introductory text generally prescribed at the initial stages of Vedanta study by a student who is keen. The screen is not being shared now. Yeah, now it's okay. Vedanta study by a student who is keen to learn scriptures like the Bhagavad Gita or the Upanishads or even Srimad Bhagavatam. All scriptural textbooks can be studied and understood well if one goes through the Tattvabodha in the beginning. As the very title of the book shows, it deals with the knowledge of Tattva. Bodha means knowledge, and Tattva in this context means the reality or true nature. So, Tattvabodha means knowledge of the reality or true nature. Now, a question may arise: true nature of what? The answer is true nature of oneself, the true self, the real self. So, we can understand that the meaning of this word Tattva here connotes the real nature of oneself. In short, Tattvabodha is self-knowledge. That is knowledge about ourselves. So do you want the next one to take over now?
Hello? Hello? Hari Om?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm reading from my iPad because I can't see the document at all. So, why should we gain the self-knowledge? Do we get any benefit from the self-knowledge? Is it not a fact that no one will undertake anything unless there is some benefit? These are natural questions which may arise in one's mind. Every human being is benefit-oriented. There is an old Sanskrit saying, "Prayojanmanudhishya na manodvapi pravartate." No thinking human being or even a dull-witted person will undertake any activity unless he or she gets some benefit out of that. So the question is, what does one gain out of self-knowledge? Is it the next person?
Please read with, till that Jitnyas. Two paragraphs you can read.
No, no, nothing.
Rajiv, please reading or should I continue?
No. Please continue.
Okay. There are numerous benefits that we can get out of this knowledge. But here are the five most significant benefits. A. Jitnyasa Nivritti, satisfaction of natural curiosity. Every human being, because of his advanced intellect as compared to other living beings, has a natural curiosity to know about things which are around him. This natural curiosity expresses itself in the form of one's exploring tendency. Wherever we go, we tend to look around. What are the things here? Who are all present here? What is this place? Even as a baby, we have done that exploration. In fact, a mother gets tired of answering the child's questions, that sometimes she may even get wild with the number and type of questions the child asks. It is this tendency to explore, it is this curiosity which is responsible for the constant increase in human knowledge. The entire humanity has all the time explored. The lands have been explored, continents have been discovered and explored, oceans and deep sea bed have been explored to discover the flora and fauna present there. We are not only exploring the land and the ocean, but we are also exploring deep into the sky, space, planets, other galaxies, distant stars, etc. We even have dedicated TV channels which shows the lives of animals and plants. One cannot imagine the amount of exploration that is going on, even to know the habits of a lobster. Such exploration prompts certain fundamental questions raised by our intellect. Should I continue?
No, let's the next person.
Kamadji, one request.
Yeah.
Your screen back and forth. It toggles back and forth between your profile picture and the. I don't
Yeah,
know
let me see.
only for me or for the rest of them also. This is the problem.
Yeah, let me see 1 second.
Yeah, I'm experiencing the same problem.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is a lack of continuity in the text what is written there. So we are
Okay.
not able to focus.
Hello.
Okay, who's next?
Shamji, like I won't be able to read. I've got a lot of cough and my throat is not good.
Okay. Ganesh ji, can you read?
Yes, sure, I can. No problem.
Okay. Okay, you can read.
But it's again buffered. I mean, it's gone into the other mode.
Let me see 1 second. Okay, now I guess you can see. Can you see, Ganesh ji?
No, I still can't. Basically, you had sent two PDFs. One was sent by you and the other one was sent by Prashant ji. Which is the one that we're referring to? Sorry.
Take the one I think both are the same. Anyway,
Actually,
just
the
take the one
second matches Shamuji.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the second PDF.
Okay.
Can you see now on the screen?
Yeah, okay. I can see it now.
Okay. From what is the creation?
Sure. Hari Om, everyone. So continuing, what is this creation? How did this creation start? Is there somebody as the creator of the universe? Is there a God? If there is a God, where is he? Why did he create this world? Why did he create me and dump me in this world? When did life start? Did I have a past life or birth? What will happen to me after my death? Where do I go? Do I survive at all? Such questions can be endless. When these fundamental questions are answered, there is total intellectual satisfaction. Wherever there is a developed intellect, curiosity to know three things abound. That is, to know about the world, to know about God, and ultimately to know about oneself. Expressed in Sanskrit, these are Jagat, the world, Ishvaraha, God, and Jiva, which is self. This natural curiosity is known as Jignasa in Sanskrit. Among the three, the maximum curiosity is to know more and more about oneself. Am I a free individual, or is my life governed by other forces which I cannot control at all? How come certain things happen in my life even though I cannot find any reason for such experiences? There are infinite questions about ourselves which we cannot avoid. We don't get answers from our parents. Parents generally evade these questions because they themselves do not know the answer. And as we grow up and become adults, we get busy in setting up our life, our family, etc. And consequently, we are unable to find the answers in our preoccupation with the worldly affairs. So while these questions are always kept aside and never answered, the curiosity never wanes.
Now, next person gets. Who is next? Oh, it's me. Okay. For, is Anjali able to read?
Yes.
Please
Yes.
do. Okay, you can read then. From here. Can you read?
Kamatji, is there any problem in sharing? From your side, it is going back and forth. The material comes and it disappears,
No,
goes back
I'm.
and forth.
No,
It's
it's
not.
because when I try to see who is next and all, it
That is a
goes back.
problem.
Now
Once
you can see,
you
right?
once now the text is seen, but please keep it in the same mode so that it is not disturbed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Now we're able to see. Yes.
Anjali, can you read now?
Oh, is it starting at for example?
Yeah,
Is it
from that paragraph.
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay. For example, let us suppose
From
that
that.
in For example, let us suppose that in a classroom, the teacher places a big box in the middle which is covered with a cloth. All the students will be unable to focus on the lecture because they will constantly be thinking about the box, guessing what it could contain and speculating why it was placed there, etc. This highlights the basic human tendency of the inability to withstand ignorance. Ignorance always drives us to explore. Ignorance makes us restless. Man cannot stand any ignorance, especially ignorance of the self. And this self-knowledge, once gained, brings a big relief to us. Thus, the first benefit of this study is removing or quenching the curiosity expressed in questions like, who am I? Why am I here? What is my destination? Am I in the right direction or not? Which is Jignasa Nivrit. The second benefit of this knowledge is the experience of a great sense of fulfillment on attaining this knowledge. This is called Vidyananda Prapiti. Prapiti.
Propti.
Prapiti. Gaining knowledge.
Prapti.
Propti.
Prapti.
It is propti.
Okay, prapti, gaining knowledge-driven happiness. It is a happiness or joy born out of the discovery of our real nature, gaining the knowledge of the self, which is so wonderful, so unique that we would not have ever imagined. Vidyananda is ananda or happiness born out of vidya, knowledge. In this, it has to go up, the screen has to go up. Okay. The screen is not going up.
Shamuji, can you scroll up?
He left the call. He
Yeah,
dropped out.
he got disconnected. I'm sure he'll join in.
That's so. I tried to download the text that we had. I mean, that was given to us. Maybe I have the wrong one. I'm on
Yeah.
page 21, but I can't seem to find the exact.
And Anjuji, there was a second PDF shared, so that's the correct one, which was shared
Oh, it
last.
is. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sam
yeah.
Krishna ji has joined again.
Okay. Well, if somebody has the correct one, maybe they can read it and we can listen until I
Okay.
download the correct one.
Okay. Now you can see, I guess.
No,
No.
Okay.
not coming up
I
yet.
lost my connection. Okay. I think now you can see.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
but gone again. Gone again.
Okay.
Context, vidya means
One.
self-knowledge. And since this knowledge is permanent and is never lost, this ananda or happiness also continues perennially. All other things are exhausted in time or exhausted because we spend them, just as the body is exhausted in time and money is exhausted when we spend. Whereas knowledge never gets exhausted, even after we share it with others. This is a famous adage in Sanskrit. Na Chora Hariyam. I'm not very good at pronouncing, so if somebody feels like pronouncing,
I'll do it. I will. Okay, I'll do it.
okay.
न चौरहार्यं न च राजहार्यं न भ्रातुभाज्यं न च भारकारी व्यये कृते वर्धते एव नित्यं विद्यादानं सर्वधना प्रदानम्. Okay, now can read.
It still needs to scroll up.
Okay.
It's just stuck there.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Knowledge cannot be stolen by a thief. Knowledge cannot be taken away by the king or the government and attached. Knowledge cannot be taken away by our relatives, and knowledge cannot be a burden also. When we share the knowledge with others, vyaye krite,
व्यये कृते वर्धते एव नित्यम्.
the more we teach or spend the knowledge, it only keeps growing perennially. So knowledge is the highest form of wealth, and any knowledge or any discovery gives us happiness. Here it is a subtler form of happiness because it is an intellectual pleasure and not a sensory pleasure. When we eat something tasty, there is happiness, but it is a gross form of happiness, gross sensory pleasure. When we read poetry or appreciate some artwork, we get a happiness which is a bit more refined. But when we get knowledge, especially the knowledge of the self, we still get more refined happiness, which is very subtle. This is called Vidyananda. We all can recall how Archimedes behaved as a result of the happiness he experienced when he made his discovery in a bathtub. Is he not known to have taken to the streets naked, crying, "Eureka!" so excited by his discovery that he had even forgotten to dress? The
Okay.
knowledge of... Oh, okay.
No, next person. Now I'll read now. The knowledge about oneself is more fulfilling as compared to any other knowledge because it is the knowledge about the most intimate thing, that is oneself. And this happiness, no, ultimate knowledge. There is no knowledge beyond the knowledge of the self. And this happiness is most wonderful because when the scriptures give us this self knowledge, they tell us that we are not ordinary defective person that we think we are and take ourselves to be. The scriptures point out that we are the most wonderful beings in this creation. And when we learn about our real nature, which is such a unique and wonderful thing, our self-image gets a huge boost. At present, our self-image is in a miserable state. That is why all the time we are working to improve our image, right from changing hairstyle, dyeing the hair, changing the eyebrow, changing the tip of the nose, changing the alignment of the teeth, doing plastic surgery to facial parts, etc. We are constantly trying to improve our self-image. We feel that we have an awful and miserable self-image. We indulge in these cosmetic improvements so as to present a better self-image to the society, an image which we know we don't naturally have. The irony is that all the while we are fully aware that it is a false facade or front. We do this because we are not happy with what we are. And this is why perhaps most of us do not want anyone to visit us without advance notice. We don't want to be caught unawares with our natural image. So most of the struggles in our life are to constantly improve our miserable image with which we are never satisfied. The scripture talks about our image, which is far from and far superior to what we think. Okay, I think now we can share our thoughts on what we have read so far. If anybody has any questions or any thoughts to share on this, please do. Okay. Okay, then we'll move on, I guess. And back to Chandramouli.
Hello, Shamuji.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, yeah. Now I get it.
Apologies, I couldn't attend the last session, so I may be lacking a bit of perspective on the session today so far. But from
Okay.
what I could see, we kind of dwelled into understanding the pure essence of why we need to gain this self-knowledge. Why do we need to study Tattvabodha? Uh, Basically, we covered two aspects here. One is which is basically the prime reason why we read this text, which is called Jignasa Nivrti, or basically just clear our anxiety. The anxiety is expressed in terms of three attributes: one being about God, one being about self, and one being I fail to recall the third one at this stage. But basically, it's all expressing why do we need to learn this text and bringing out the advantages of gaining this self-knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. The third one would be why we are in this samsara.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty
Jiva,
clear.
Jagat, and Ishvara. Jiva,
Yeah.
Jagat, and Ishvara are the three aspects you
Yes,
would
yes.
like to clarify about.
Yeah, yeah. Why we are born in this samsara? We also curse God for it. Why did you put us in this miserable world? We often do that. So yeah, I
Okay,
think
can I
it's pretty
continue?
clear to us. We can continue, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, from Chandramouli, you start. You can start
Yeah.
again.
Okay.
Okay,
The
when we
scriptures
read,
affirm
okay,
that.
wait, 1 second. When we read, when each one of us reads, let's all mute the mic because there is echo otherwise.
Okay, can I? The scriptures affirm that Tvamasi, you are, Nitya, external, Suddha, pure, Buddha, enlightened, Mukta, liberated, Asanga, unattached, Sarvagata, all pervading, Swarupa, self. So, contrary to what we think, our nature is eternal, pure, enlightened, liberated, unattached, and all pervading. It sounds is unbelievable, but it is true. So, when we gain self knowledge, uh, when we gain this self knowledge, it gives us the greatest joy. That the second benefit, Vidyananda Prapti, the knowledge that I have the best image in the world. What a nice thing to know, even if it is false, which it is not. It is worth rejoicing. The third benefit is Karpanya Nivarti. The text is not seen now. The third benefit is Karpanya Nivartihi, freedom from desperation. It is also known as Paratandriya Nivarti. Paratandriya Nivarti or Paravasya Nivarti, both meaning freedom from dependence. The Vidyananda that we got or that we get by self knowledge is such an unique happiness that it is available to us at all the times, unlike any other happiness in the world, which is bound by time and space. If we think about all the forms of happiness are all bound by time. The happiness that we derive from listening to music will last as long as the music is playing. It has a beginning and it has an end too. Further, the happiness depends upon so many collateral conditions like noise, free movement. Is there any issue with the connectivity? It keeps going back and forth.
No issue.
I'm not able to see the presentation here on the screen. Yeah, now it is on. It goes again on. So it's toggling back and forth. That has been a trouble. Okay. The happiness that we derive from listening to music will last as long as the music is playing. It has a beginning and it has an end too. Now it's gone again.
Hello?
Yes. Yes. Further, the happiness depends on so many collateral conditions like noise-free environment, good sound equipments, good rendering by musicians, and the like. There is a dependence on so many conditions, including the proper functioning of our sense faculties. For example, a person hard of hearing cannot get the same happiness from hearing music, which another one with excellent hearing faculty can get. Take any type of pleasure we can imagine, it will have a beginning and an end, and also often the conditions will be unpredictable. All worldly pleasures are wonderful, but uh, they will have certain associated negative points. Firstly, they are finite, they are all finite. Secondly, they are unpredictable. In Sanskrit, the worldly pleasures are all called Visayanada, that is experiential pleasures. They are time bound, conditional.
It is Vishayananda.
Vishananda, I'm sorry. They are time bound, conditional, unpredictable pleasures. Wherever there is unpredictability, the resultant experience will be one of the stress, strain, and anxiety. So, in such circumstances, Vidyananda can serve as a wonderful standby. For example, in worldly affairs, if we have unpredictability about our income, we will want some other source of income to fall back upon as a standby. An intelligent person will never rely upon an unpredictable thing. The scriptures point out that Vidyananda is a standby for Vishayananda, and once there is a standby, we will be totally relaxed. There is no desperation. Are we not relaxed when we have a UPS, uninterrupted power supply device in our house as a standby for power cuts? Once we have Vidyananda, the advantage we enjoy is that with regard to worldly pleasure, we are not desperate with Vidyananda as a standby. Thus, we don't become a slave of worldly pleasures, because whether worldly pleasures come or not, we already have a permanent source of joy. Just as we have some bank balance for emergency or a borewell as a standby for water supply, when we have a perennial source of joy, for joy, our dependence on the unpredictable and unreliable worldly pleasures gets reduced. If worldly pleasures come, it is wonderful. If not, we have got the other source to, we know the other source where to tap from, which is Vidyananda.
Hari Om, should I continue? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, just checking. Thus, the third benefit is the reduction of the desperate dependence upon the joy given by worldly people, relatives, possession, or even the government. In short, it is the freedom from desperation or freedom from helplessness. There is no stress or strain. This is very important because in modern times, everyone keeps talking about stress and strain. Seminars are organized on the subject of stress and strain and ways and means to manage them. And the irony is that more often than not, the organizers themselves are fully stressed in their anxiety about the successful conduct of the program in the light of various uncertainties. This freedom from desperation is Karpanya Nivrittihi, the third benefit. The fourth benefit is Aghatha Nivrittihi, freedom from shock and trauma. We all know from our experience that our life is not always a bed of roses. It is not always a smooth sailing. Of course, a number of things do go according to our plans. But in spite of our best efforts, planning, knowledge, etc., things can go beyond our control and they can lead to painful experiences. There can be no disagreement that life is a mixture of pleasurable and painful experiences. Wherever we would like to change the painful experiences, we would certainly work for that. So if electric power supply fails, we will buy a generator. If the atmospheric temperature goes too high, we will try to get an air conditioner. If the local transport system infrastructure is awful in the city, we may think of buying a car. Thus, we may have solutions to many problems. Does the next person want to continue?
Okay, now
However,
next.
yeah,
Yeah, next person. Ganesh.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can.
yeah, clear.
However, we all know that there are many situations for which we have no remedy at all. Even doctors sometimes say that one has to live with a certain physical condition. Medical science, no doubt, is very advanced, and there are cures for many diseases. Even then, there are diseases for which medical science doesn't have any cure. Leave aside the cure. They don't even know the cause of these diseases. Example, idiopathic diseases. Have we not come across such cases? All the parameters in the pathological tests could be clear, but we may have continuous stomach problem. Even the advanced tests may fail to diagnose the cause of illness. This is just an example, but there are so many such situations over which we have no control, including the behavior of our family members, be it husband, wife, in-laws, teenage children, etc. Self-knowledge serves as a wonderful shock absorber. When we are facing adverse and challenging situations in life, this knowledge serves as a cushion, just like a shock absorber in a car. The shock absorbers are not needed when the roads are fine and smooth, but when the roads are rough and bumpy with a lot of potholes, they become useful. So we need to have them in the car always. They help us to withstand the shock when the roads are terrible. They help us in prevention of ailments like spondylitis. Similarly, self-knowledge helps us to avoid psychological spondylitis, which is depression, anxiety, fear, etc.
Please continue.
We can change some situations, but there are many which we cannot change. Lord Krishna calls them in the Gita apariharyartha, apariharyartha, choiceless situations, which we cannot escape and will have to live with. Some people try to commit suicide by taking some poisonous medicine, but even those don't work properly at times and they survive. Pariharya means remediable. Artha means situations. So apariharyartha means non-remediable or remediless situations, choiceless situations. The scriptures point out that we cannot find a remedy for choiceless situations. Why? Because they are choiceless. The scriptures also point out that even though we may not be able to change the situation, we can modify or reduce, and in some cases, totally avoid their impact on us or how it affects us psychologically. So while the situations cannot be changed, their impact can be altered. And that is why we often observe, even within one family itself, when a tragedy strikes, different people are affected by different degrees. Event is one, but the reactions are different. Should I continue or would
Now,
the
who
next
is
person?
next? Anduji. Okay. Anjuji, can you read? Anjuji?
I think you're on mute.
No, I'm not.
No, I mean Anjuji I think is on mute.
Yeah, she should unmute. Anjuji, can you hear? Okay, then I'll read.
Here you go. I got it.
Okay.
Okay. So when a toy falls down, When a toy falls down and breaks, it is the greatest tragedy for the child, but the mother or father does not react in the same manner as the child does. They console the child. The situation is the same, but the reaction is different. So the situations may not change, but their impact can be controlled by us. There is a beautiful example to understand this. Imagine there are 3 cups of water placed in a row. The cup on the left side has hot water, and the one on the right side has cold water. The one in the middle has lukewarm water, medium temperature. You dip your fingers on the extreme cups, say for half a minute. Then you take the 2 fingers and dip them in the cup in the middle. The temperature in the cup is the same for both fingers, but the 2 fingers will experience it differently. To the finger which was earlier dipped in hot water, the water in the middle cup will appear cold. Similarly, to the finger which was earlier dipped in the cold water, the water in the middle cup will appear hot. This shows that the situations remaining the same, what we experience could be different, and what we experience could be altered. And the contention of the scriptures is that we cannot change many situations, people, events, etc. in the world, but we can alter their impact on us, reduce the impact, and sometimes even totally wipe out the impact. And this is what is termed as agata nivritti. In Sanskrit, the word agata means impact, blow, shock, trauma, deep and permanent injury, etc., caused by certain experiences. Certain acts of our family members, certain acts of our close friends may sometimes cause a deep injury and a scar, and some people never come out of that experience. They call it trauma. And our experiences assert that self-knowledge or Atma self-knowledge or Atma Jnanam is very powerful medicine, which can reduce the agata of all painful experiences in life. It is the greatest shock absorber. It can reduce the impact of any worse tragedy in life, so that a person does not suffer any permanent scar. The person is able to wipe out the pain within a few days and start living again. This resilience of the mind, this immunity of the mind, this self-regeneration capacity of the mind can be obtained through self-knowledge, so that we can avoid going to psychiatrists or even think of suicide. This strength we get from self-knowledge. This strength we get from self-knowledge. A wise person never has a shock, irrespective of the experience the life gives.
I'll read.
Okay.
The 5th benefit is Dakshata Praptihi, gaining efficiency. When our mind is well balanced because we have got a shock absorber, the mind does not go through turbulent conditions at all. A poisoned mind is an effective mind. A poised mind is an effective mind. An emotionally disturbed mind is a handicapped mind. And even if we have high learning and we are highly educated, if we don't have emotional balance, our education becomes useless, because in a disturbed mind we cannot tap the knowledge. And that is why nowadays psychologists say emotional quotient, EQ, is more important than the intelligence quotient, IQ. IQ represents high intellect, high knowledge, sharpness of mind, etc. EQ represents the capacity to remain balanced when things go haywire. And they say a person with a high IQ cannot perform better if he has a low EQ. On the contrary, if a person has high EQ, he can fully tap whatever knowledge he has, because emotionally balanced mind intellectually available. In fact, emotional disturbances is like virus for the brain computer. Vital information resource under siege. It means that information stored in our brain is not available for our tapping. The intelligence has been hijacked by the terrorists and militants called emotional problem. And self-knowledge is an effective protection against this virus. And once virus is handled, the IQ becomes fully available for our present performance, and naturally a poised person is able to perform better. Thus, even from a worldly angle, a person of self-knowledge can accomplish better than any other person. When we transact with the world on a day-to-day basis, there are two personalities of us, which are functioning all the time. The first is receiver-reactor personality, and the second, the doer personality. Okay, now next person, I think, can, or if we have any thoughts to share, we can.
Shamuji, I just recollected the choiceless situation.
Chandramouli?
Yeah.
Okay. Please share.
No. I just remembered the paragraph where it was read about the choiceless situation and how we can reduce the impact. So I just recollected the chapter 2, verse 27, very beautifully when Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that I shared it in the comment section. So that's all I wanted to bring it out.
Okay. Yeah. I guess now Chandramouli ji can start.
Can I start?
Yeah. Please.
Okay. The receiver reactor personality is that which receives the experience of life. The receiver by way of inputs which keep coming continuously from the world, things, people, relationships, and experiences. Even as we receive them, I'm not seeing the text. Yeah. Even as we receive them, we react to those inputs as happy, unhappy, satisfied, joyous, miserable, terrible, elated, etc. This is the reactor side of the receiver reactor personality. In the scriptures, this is called Bhokta, the one who receives experiences and goes through an emotional reaction like raga, attachment, dvesha, hatred, kama, pleasure, krodha, anger, moha, delusion, lobha, greed, mada, conceit, or pride, matsarya. Envy or jealous, they are all belonging to bhokta. And there is a second personality. Can you please scroll up? Yeah. And there is a second personality which is constantly working. That is, I want to do a lot of things in my life. I have several goals, plans. I have got an agenda for the entire life, and I'm continuously adding fresh ones, etc. The one who is working in life to fulfill the agenda is called karta, the doer. Can you please go to the next page?
Yeah. Please do first. Please continue.
No, I'm not seeing the presentation here. Yeah, it's come up. Again gone.
Others?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Is everybody experiencing?
No, I don't know whether it is only for me. The screen stays only for a few seconds, then it goes off. I don't know what is the reason for this. Yeah, now it stays. They are like the two sides of the same coin. Okay, these are the two personalities, Bhokta and Karta. These two personalities are closely interconnected. The receiver of experiences and the performer of actions. They are like the two sides of the same coin. Since they are so intimately connected, the efficiency of Karta is heavily dependent on the condition of the Bhokta. Even in sports, the performance of sports person is heavily affected when he or she has some problem in the personal life, family life, etc. We have numerous examples of this. If early in the morning we have some sorrow experience because of which our mind is disturbed, it will have a negative impact on all our actions during the day. So if the Bhokta is disturbed, it will affect the efficiency of the Karta. So it follows that if Bhokta can be improved, the efficiency of the Karta can also be improved. We have already seen that the fourth benefit is Agata Nivritti, which is a shock absorber. So as a Bhokta. If we have a shock absorber as a Karta, we will perform better. So Agata Nivritti leads to better performance in life. We will be able to set aside those disturbing experiences because the Bhokta is not traumatized. Thus the fifth benefit is the improvement of efficiency of whatever we choose to do in life. This is because as a Bhokta, we have the shock absorber which will keep our mind calm and poised, and which will keep us to significantly improve our efficiency in all our actions, which will help us. Okay, many times children have this problem. Many times children have this problem. The child would have studied very well for the examination and would be confident of scoring full marks. But when he or she gets a question paper in the examination hall, the child may not know the answer to the first question. He or she is bound to Shyam Krishna ji, I think this needs to be said right. Otherwise, there is a lot of lack of continuity because of this. You're not able to.
I think he got disconnected.
Yeah, he got disconnected. Yes.
Should I finish?
I don't know whether it's an issue with this connectivity.
Right.
The speed of connectivity, it toggles back and forth between his profile picture and this and the presentation.
Yeah, in fact, there was only one last paragraph left. Should I just finish?
Yeah, you can go ahead and finish. He has joined back.
Yeah.
You can finish. Yes.
She is bound to get disturbed and nervous. Even though there are maybe many multiple choices in the question paper, the poise and mental faculty is bound to get disturbed. But if the child can maintain the balance and forget the first question.
Sorry, Nirmala ji.
Yeah.
Your voice is echoing.
I don't know if somebody is not muted, so maybe that is why I think voice is echoing. Is it okay now? Hello? Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay now. Yeah, it's okay now.
Yes, it's okay now. It's okay.
But if the child can maintain the balance and forget the first question, read the other questions carefully and answer them properly, the Bhokta child will not be affected by the Karta child. But some children become panicky. Even though such children may know the answer to the second question, because of the panic, they are likely to forget the answer to the second question. When this happens, the panic multiplies and this leads to confusion and forgetfulness of the answers to all other questions. Therefore, this capacity to shelve the bhokta, not to get traumatized, have the emotional balance and be efficient in whatever we are doing is called dakshata praptihi. Dakshata means efficiency. Thus, improving our efficiency in every field is the fifth benefit. Thus, all these five benefits will be achieved through acquiring self-knowledge.
I think we can stop here today.
Yeah, sure.
Now we can share any thoughts, or anything, doubts, or anything if you have.
Like that paragraph where the previous one where it says if early in the morning we have some sour experience because of which our mind is disturbed, it will have a negative impact. I recollected Swami Paramanandanda's example in the audio recording where he said we fight with the auto. So that is the example I just remembered.
Okay, please mute your mics, okay, others, because we cannot hear it when someone speaks and the mic is. Would be better if we all use the headset. Thank you, Dharmarajan. Okay, now if anybody has anything to say, please. You can do one at a time.
I was saying, can I?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay, I was saying there was a lot of interruption during this reading. So, to have a holistic view of what we have read so far. So, can you please just take us through what we have read? The five benefits, at least the five benefits together.
Yeah.
Very briefly. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So the first benefit is Jitnyasa Nivritti, which we all know. We all have curiosity, and curiosity to know about ourselves will be the greatest. So the first benefit will be Jitnyasa Nivritti. The second will be the Vidyananda, the happiness or the pleasure of knowing knowing about ourselves. Anything, any knowledge when we gain, we are very happy. So gaining the self knowledge would be much more effective and on us. Then the third benefit is
Karpanya Nivarti.
Karpanya Nivarti.
So, can you explain a little bit about Karpanya Nivarti?
Yeah. Once.
Yeah. I think is it the anxiety?
Yeah.
No, it's
Our
actually
sense of incompleteness. So
If I
that
can
can
just-
go because of the fallback mechanism we have got in Vidyananda.
If I can just add a few points here. The third benefit basically is to reduce the desperate dependence or the joy that we get from all worldly pleasures, which is basically the attachment we associate with the pleasures that we get from the world, be it say our relatives, be it say our possession, even from the government to that extent. and this is basically giving us total freedom from desperation and a freedom from the state of helplessness that we discover purely because we associate ourselves, our pleasures with each of these worldly sources. So that
Yeah.
is what we essentially mean with Karpanya Nivritti.
Yeah, and fourth is Aghada Nivritti. Aghada means a shock or trauma or whatever we experience from this. When we are when we deal with this yeah, when we are dealing with this world, we experience a lot of hurts because of our interactions with others, or because of it may be because of our interactions with others, or it may be because what we desired we didn't get, or it is not up to the point, or anything, or maybe loss of loved ones. So we experience a lot of hurt and all the in this world. So this Atmajnana, self-knowledge, can act as a shock absorber for all these problems, because ultimately we know that uh, so when we know this Atmajnana, that is Satyam Jnana Anandam, we and that relative unreality of this world, which will come, we will see later in this text. We, we can depend on because the relative shock will be less. We know that. That's what Aghada Nivritti is. So, and fifth one is Dakshata Prapti, gaining efficiency. When our mind is well balanced, because we have shock absorber. Yeah, that's the fifth one. When emotionally we will be able to function better in this world, we'll be able to interact better with other people. We like some people, interactions with some people will leave hurt in our mind. So if we have this shock absorber, Atmajnana, we will be able to interact better. We will be without being hurt. We can interact with other people. We can we may not give as much uh, dependency on how other people behave to us. We can accept them objectively. We can look at many people, or people and other everything objectively. That when we look objectively and accept people as what they are, we can do that when we have this Atmajnana. Whereas when we otherwise we will be totally dependent on how others behave to us, and we would be wanting others to change their their personality or character as we want, whereas the others will also will be trying to change us, and this will cause a clash. So that will be less. We won't be worried about changing others. We will be more, we could actually we can accept them as they are, and also try to help them improve them if we can, if we think it is helpful for themselves and ourselves, everybody. So that's the fifth one. That's all I think. That's all to what we did today. And the first thing what Swamiji said was an adage from the Sanskrit, that even a fool will not work, will not do something without seeing a benefit. Everybody wants to know, before doing something we want to know what is the benefit we are getting from this what we are going to do, any action or any study or anything we want to do, then we want to know what we'll get from it. So Swamiji is basically listing us these five benefits we get from Atmajnana. So five main benefits, I would say. Swamiji is okay. Now I think if anybody else has any thoughts, or else we can stop. Okay, I think then we can stop with a prayer. Next time we can also start with the prayer. So I forgot to start the prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Hri Om Sri Guru Pyo